Welcome to week 2 of the Me and White Supremacy virtual pilgrimage. My name is Reverend John Borthwick, and I'm the minister at St. Andrew's in Guelph, and I'm offering these personal reflections as I encounter the book Me and White Supremacy by Layla Saad. I'm grateful to the pilgrims that are joining me on this journey and the opportunity to share some personal reflections in the safe space that we have. You'll notice the comments are turned off on this video, and that's with intention. If you do want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to hear from you. My email address is in the description, and I'd be happy to engage in a conversation with you about this material. This week, week 2, it's Me and White Fragility. And I just want to offer the definition that Layla offers, which is actually Robin DiAngelo's definition of white fragility. And I'd encourage you to check out Robin DiAngelo's work on this subject matter as well. DiAngelo defines white fragility as a state in which even a minimum amount of racial stress becomes intolerable, triggering a range of defensive moves. And so as we reflect on this material this week, I'm taken by the unawareness that I had of the term white fragility. I've heard of it now in the last probably year or so. I didn't even realize it was a thing until the last year or so of expanding my own reading and my own learning in this area. But when I reference, and as she describes this in this chapter, I reference a story from my past where I demonstrated to a BIPOC person, friend of mine when I was in university, that I wasn't a safe place for them to talk about the experience of their reality in the moment of an interaction that we had. Without going into a lot of detail for this short reflection, what I'll say is we had an incident where my BIPOC friend expressed that the situation that he was experiencing was about race. I explained to him that it was nothing to do about race. I didn't see it that way at all. And it created a conflict between the two of us. I wasn't able to listen to my friend as he shared his own experience of what had happened from his way of seeing things. I was attempting to define the experience based on my white supremacy. And I think it came from white fragility. I was uncomfortable with making a situation be about race when I didn't think it was about that. But it definitely was for my BIPOC friend, and truth be told, the experience was more than likely exactly about race, and I couldn't see it. Now, maybe I was afraid, maybe I was concerned, maybe I felt uncomfortable or stressed by the fact that as I understood it, and I'm sure you've heard it expressed before, that my friend was escalating a situation to a conversation about race. Now, what's interesting about that notion of escalating a conversation to be about race is I'm learning as I journey through this material, as I try to listen to friends and colleagues, it is about race. We can say a variety of things. We can say, make a number of excuses that it's not, or these are issues that are universal, but it is about race. And the other thing that I noticed in this chapter that I just want to highlight very briefly was that even though I would suggest that I am trying to recognize and be aware of my own white supremacy, my own white privilege, my own white fragility, because it is dangerous if we don't deal with the fact that we're reactive to things if we are white or presenting as white. But I know for my own self that when I'm trying to get things right, I'm trying to do the right thing, I'm trying to be open-minded and see the world and hear and listen well to my BIPOC friends and colleagues, and to listen to the BIPOC community for what they are saying and what they are expressing. And I'm aware that sometimes when I try, sometimes I get criticized or I get feedback from BIPOC that says that I'm not doing it right. I'm making a huge mistake. Or I get called out for saying something, or in my ignorance doing something, or whatever that might be. And I'm aware within myself that makes me want to give up. It makes me want to not try anymore. It makes me sometimes feel feelings of resentment. I'm trying. Why am I being criticized? Even these little reflections I'm offering, I'm aware that someone might want to offer back to me some criticism, some upset, some calling out for what I'm trying to do. And what it reminds me is I need to lean into that discomfort that I feel. If I'm committing myself to doing what is right and not what is easy, as Layla says it, then I need to keep doing it, to stay on track, to lean into the discomfort, as I understand are some of the 4 agreements of Singleton. If I'm going to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, I need to feel uncomfortable when conversations raise or are risen around race. As someone who tries to follow someone who said, "My yoke is easy," Jesus, I'm very much aware that it's not an easy way to live. Seeing the world in a different way, looking at the world in a way that is inclusive of all people, is difficult. So I need to lean into that discomfort and keep going. So, may we continue to not do what's easy, but keep striving to do what is right. And I'll see you again next week.